In that mix, Magic Mike. You tune into the Magic Show Deluxe Syndicated. You know how we do it, you know what I mean? TV show slash audio show. We just keep it real. We got an amazing producer here. He's a legend. He goes by the name of Amadeus360. What's going on, my brother?
Right, right. Appreciate that. Ain't no legend though, man. Ain't no
No, no, you're
legend.
not.
Not yet.
No.
I
You
don't.
is. The tracks you're doing right now, you're from Brooklyn, New York. You know what I mean? Brooklyn's always got some of the most dirtiest producers. Even DJ Premier had to come from Houston all the way up there, right?
Yeah,
So
that's my man. That's my brother.
you and Premier connected. So let me ask you something. How did you and Premier meet? Like, how did you get in the door to get into this production thing?
Uh, it's hard to explain that. You know, when you've been doing something so long, it's kind of hard to explain it. I was more affiliated with people. You know, being in New York. You know, I was like I'm sure you're obsessed with hip hop. I'm sure
Of
you've been in
course.
many stages,
Of course. Many
and because
stages,
you
man.
wanted to
Even
be there.
even back in 88, 89, you know what I mean? With the high top
Right.
fade, I tried to look like Kwame with it all blonde. From that phase to what we're doing here today. You know what I mean? Love
Yeah.
hip
So it
hop.
was. Basically it was more the affiliation. I knew people. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you mess with this music thing in any form of fashion, even as a listener, you're affiliated. In New York, I'm lucky to be around, all of the greatest anyway.
Hmm.
And but it's I did a joint for a group in London called the Brotherhood back in the day, and then I auditioned for Lynn Q.
Okay.
Uh, MC Lights, I'm sure you remember him. She had that put
Yes.
Let It Rain on him, yeah.
And
And
speaking of MC Light, she did come to the city, right? Ottawa. I missed that event, you know what I mean? But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. She was
she's a
just
queen.
there.
She's a queen, man. Yeah.
But I did an event. I auditioned for Lin Q back in the early 2000s. This after I wasn't taking stuff seriously like that, but I had affiliations. I had met a lot of people, and fast forward some years later when I decided to get taken seriously, I became affiliated very closely with Nick Wiz's this producer named Nick Wiz, Rakim's producer.
Okay.
He
Okay.
produced on the 18th letter. And from there,
Rakim's a dope producer himself.
he is, yeah. But this guy here, he's very close to Rod. And he pretty much, kind of showed me the business and the professional side of not just being a basement producer. Everybody wants to produce, but hardly any producer makes any headway.
No,
And it was the
they collect
introduction. The kid could go ahead.
they collect all the beats and they sit there for years and years and years and they never come out. Like 20 years ago by, it's like I got all these beats, but I never really did nothing with
Yeah,
it, you
it's
know?
not easy, man. You got to
No.
get person. It's weird. The very people I work with, this slew of people. It's like in the beginning they didn't pay me any attention. But anyway, it was really my association. It was Kid Capri that really inspired me striking up a relationship like I did with Kid Capri, hanging out at his house all the time, sitting down in his studio, him letting me pick through his samples, his collection, advice, and from there, it's pretty much it's Kid Capri. I owe that to Kid Capri. Kid Capri just like he inspired me. I got to see a side of this that most people do not. And pretty much from there, once MOP co-signed me, you can't really know everybody's gonna respect you once you come out with an MOP record.
I will say
It
right
just,
now, Billy Dan's straight up brother right there. I've interviewed him, right? You've linked up with MOP, okay? So working with them brothers, you had to bring out the artillery. You had to.
you know what? So Bill and Fame used to see me years ago back at their shows. Like I'm literally, it comes to Gangstar MOP, I'm obsessed with it. I eat it like food. And I was a fan. And I had run into Fame many times, had met Billy, and one day they knew me. So it was like I was at a show and it was just a slew of who's who at this show, and I'm backstage, and Pete Rock was there, Premier was there. It was everybody. I have a ton of video and photos from that day.
What
And
year was that?
one day, that might have been back in like 2016, 2017.
Okay.
And from there, it was like I had this conversation with Fame. We were talking about a joint that he made from Tears for Fears album, Head Over Heels.
Oh
And
wow.
I told him, yo, I was like, yo, Fame, why you didn't use this part? Blah, 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 blah. And he told me, why don't you remake it and let me hear it? And it's pretty much history from there.
Okay.
Because after I did that, I got a call from one of their engineers that like engineered Annie up, Cold as Ice. His name is Rock Logic. And I did a joint, and he put me on a three-way with Billy. You know, Billy already knew me, but I didn't have Billy's number back then. So
Hmm.
from there, it just grew, man. And they looked out, and it's like I don't even know how to explain it because I was just with Fame a week ago. Where because I just shot a video with Bernadette Price, Razcast, and Fame's wife, Francie.
Oh wow. So Fame's
That's
wife
coming.
raps. She raps. She raps.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
Francie
wow.
rap. Yeah, in Germany she raps. So
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it because I've been with these guys for so long. I have so many joints with them, and they're also affiliated with like the whole Static Selector crew, Smith and Wesson.
Big
So
ups. Big
that's
ups.
there you go. So it's kind of how once Bill and Fame and Tef co-signed me, they were in my home. They recorded at my crib. They used to these fancy studios and these big setups. Them dudes just wanted some Hennessy and to
Hmm.
wild out and bug out and do a session. And
Hmm.
they came to my crib. It's been amazing, bro. Like I
Okay.
cannot Kid Capri and MOP, the gratitude to them because it's like Billy reached out to Meth while he was over in Germany on tour, and I was at a show at Rockefeller Center. I talked to Meth, and I'm like, yo, I'm Amadeus. I'm the dude that Billy was reaching out, on. And he was like, yo, take my number because pretty much if Bill and Fame is messing with you, I know your shit is fire.
Yeah. Yeah, for
And I was
sure.
like a deer in the headlights, bro. It's just been fun and
If
humbling.
if if Billy's on your show as a guest, you must be fire, right? That's it.
Right.
Period. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Billy like what I do, man. They like what I produce.
so let's
When they
talk
don't,
about
they let me know.
exactly. Yeah, I mean you gotta have them around. Exactly. If your whole album sounds
Yeah.
whatever, he's gonna tell you. So let's talk about the MPC Jedi, right? That was one of
Yes,
your
sir.
albums, correct?
Yeah, it's a big one. I did well with that one.
Let's talk about that one. I heard it and I'm very impressed with it, right? You know what I mean? I find back then things were thicker. I don't know if it's a software people are using these days that makes everything crushed down. Even if you're not compressing, it still sounds like it's compressed, right? So let's talk about the MPC Jedi.
Uh,
So making this album, okay? Because I can tell you put a lot of work in. How many years did it take you to make this?
it took me about 8 months,
8 months, okay, okay. And who's
8 or 9 months.
featured on this album?
Uh, MOP. I think it's maybe three on there because I think it's 21 tracks and 18 videos.
Okay, okay.
MOP, of course, Bill and Fame, Tef, Keith Murray, Sticky Fingers,
Oh wow, Sticky, big ups to Sticky
Craig,
Fingers. Met him too. Very nice brother.
Master Ace,
Okay.
Craig G.
Do you know everybody that you're mentioning I've met or interviewed? Like this is crazy, man. Everything's coming 360. You know what I mean? So you have a single, okay? It's called Respect Due, featuring Zadot X
Uh,
and Divine. I don't know if I can say this right.
it's Karama. Yeah.
Karama, right? Divine Karama, right? Now, how'd you team up with Zadot X and Divine?
I mean, I already had contacts. I know people. So, but for me, the Divine hit me up on Instagram. He's from Kentucky. So, uh, I usually don't work with smaller artists, but man, when I heard this dude,
He could spit,
I,
man. He
I,
could spit some fire right there.
what? I mean, the metaphors, you name it. It's just it's crazy. The
Who
dude
engineered
is
who
like,
engineered the track?
oh, I do all of my own
So
stuff
when
as
you
far as
sat there,
that.
so I'm an engineer too. I haven't done music. I haven't engineered songs in a minute, right? But when you engineered this track right here, and you heard Divine's verse, you let that thing loop over and over. You're sitting there, I can't believe this dude's rapping over my beat. You ever get that with some of these projects?
Well, I get that with anybody that you know, like take
Anybody
for
that's
instance,
good, anybody that's good that you're working with, you know what I mean? Do you ever?
like I haven't really had, you know, Divine would be my first artist that I work with that is kind of the unknown but known, you know, where
Hmm.
he's from. And, you know, I learned from Preem, you know, Preem used to put out a lot of projects with people nobody knew.
That's right. That's
And
right.
because he just respected the dopeness of it. And but as far as like working with this dude, I just said, you know what? Let's do this. Because I was gonna work on instrumentals for the label. They want me to do instrumentals now. They
Hmm.
know my name, you know, so people can stream my beats. But this dude just he just took me, he amazed me. And
Your label's called
this,
Soul Spasm, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's the label, and okay,
Uh,
continue.
so you know, like you said, like, yeah, I'm amazed with people when you sit and you listen to Sheik Luch. Yeah, Sheik Luch was on my album. I got so many people, bro. I'll be honest at this point. I would have to sit here and,
What?
you know, of course I get excited when you hear people
Yeah,
Buckshot,
but
Smith
were
and
these
Wesson. I've
tracks?
got, you
But were
know,
these tracks? Did these artists send you their vocals, or were they in studio with you, most of
no,
them?
most of almost everything that I've done is probably 95% besides Divine Karama, when this
Mm-hmm.
new
Mm-hmm.
project was
Mm-hmm.
done in studio. I have tons of footage. Nims, Lil D, Buckshot, Paul Wall, CL Smooth, all came to the
Mm-hmm.
studio
Mm-hmm.
on my
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
joint.
So, is
Yeah.
there a video for Respect Due on YouTube?
No, we're working on that. The
Working on
album's
that.
not out yet, so we have one. I'm shooting one with Terminology on the 30th and the
As about to
31st.
get to
Yeah.
that, Crash Test Dummies, featuring
Uh-huh.
Terminology and Divine. That's that right there. I heard that. I did download the DJ pack. I want to thank MJ for this incredible link up. You know what I mean? Now, Terminology is a legend. You know what I'm saying? And we
Uh-huh.
forgot, and the same thing with Zadot X. You know what I'm saying? I think right now he's working as a nurse at a hospital or something part time. But I've been seeing on his
Part-time,
Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah. But Terminology, how's the relationship between you and Terminology? Like, do you known each other for years, or you just want to link up for
Let
this
me tell you
project here?
something. Term is I don't even know how to explain it, man. That dude, when we did our project, our album 360, it was a lot of labor of love. We shot a lot of videos. We did one with Pun's son, Chris Rivers, called
Mm-hmm.
Superiority Complex. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, Sheik Luch and Fame. Uh, you know, I had we worked with Nims. You know, Nims is all a part of that crew.
Yes, he is.
Um, I love Turn Man, and people know that you can't be disrespectful or say nothing around other, you know, to Term in front of me. There's gonna be some problems.
Exactly.
I'm
But
just letting you know I take it personal.
I'm gonna rewind you back, right, to Nims now, right? When it comes to Coney Island, right? Coney Island. Like, is he the only one that's coming out of there? Like, have you worked with anybody else? Because I like, from what I hear, like I see these freestyle battles and they say, oh, I represent Coney Island. Not too many artists are coming out of there, but have you worked with just him alone coming out of there?
I mean, I think Buck is he was all he from kind of around that way also.
Okay.
Crown Heights, Coney
And
Island, but
then yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
ton of rappers in New York. It's just about who gets heard. You know how
Okay.
that works. Nims
Yes,
put a lot
yes.
of work in, man.
Yes, he
Nims
did.
has been around for a long time, and now I'm really proud to see Big Dude get his due, man. And I'm proud
Well,
to have done, you know.
exactly. I spun Nims, right? And like now he's not just a rapper, he's not just doing the podcast here and there. He's on satellite radio, right? He achieved that. He worked from the
Mhm.
ground up. he's up there. You know what I mean? And again, with terminology now, he's up there with Static Selector on satellite radio. Now you defend him to the heart. Why is it you defend him to the heart? Your relationship is that strong with that brother?
Yeah, man, I love Term because let me tell you, I think Term has a lot of people around him that look to gain favor. And with Term, it's business and personal. And what I can tell you is the dude has just been thorough. We spent just endless hours at the studio vibing out. I was there when he opened up Time is Money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just love the dude. You know, I love the dude. And not only that, he's super talented. He's nothing but done nothing but speak well of me. And like I say, that relationship I don't ever see going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. I like Term too, right? He doesn't waste money. I could tell by looking at him, right? Like for instance, the jewelry he wears, right? Real simple. There's no need to update, and you know what I mean, a lot of these rappers not even wearing real jewelry, right? So he's not even focused on that. His bar work, incredible, right? And the video concepts I find with him throughout the years are very grimy and street grimy. You know what I mean? Very, very real. Right? I mean, he's still keeping it real, you know? So as for you in terminology, anything else you guys are doing? You're gonna do an album together? Have you worked on any of his other
Yeah, we're
albums?
gonna be doing something after this. I mean, you know, Term and I, it's just a no-brainer because we've already
Mm-hmm.
done so. So let me explain like that. It's pretty much a clique. Everybody knows each other, like Tech
Mm-hmm.
and Still. So Still
Mm-hmm.
is at the same studio all the time, and we've worked several times together. I have another one that's not even out yet. We shot the video about 5 months ago, where one is Tretch from Naughty, Tretch and Razcast on the
Everybody that
video.
you've mentioned out of your mouth, it seems like we're in that same circle, right? I've seen you pop up before, Amadeus360. That's why I call you a legend, because you've been around. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Tech and Steel, they were around. Yeah, they're waiting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I had a video coming with Smith and Wesson with Razcast.
Big
And
ups to Rascast too as
who all
well.
comes to the video shoots? Well, of course, Fame comes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Mm-hmm.
like in this circle where we always stay, we all know each other, we all
Mm-hmm.
stay around each other, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. Like Burn, I knew, Sean Price. So
R.I.P.
I have the
R.I.P.
respect of Bernadette. So, she let me, I had a duck down deal. I did a whole album with Rusty Jukes.
And don't say it
We,
again. Don't say it again. Don't say it again. I heard
yeah,
that.
Rusty.
Rusty Jukes is one of the most dangerous artists that ever come out.
Yeah, he nasty.
For
He
underground
nasty.
hip hop, he's top five. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? Especially that
Yeah,
track, the
Rusty, my
new.
man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you relationship with Rusty, okay. And you had like a Bucktown deal or something with Bucktown
Yeah, Duck
Records?
Down. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
it on the Duck Down label. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we did a flip for Burn for Sean Price.
Was Drew
Me
High?
and
Was Drew
Rusty
High working
Jukes.
that? Was Drew High working that deal? Is Drew High still
Nah,
doing
nah,
business?
he didn't sign. That was nah, I don't know what's going on. They supposed to be revamping and I don't know what's
Okay,
happening with Drew.
okay, okay,
But
okay.
yeah, we did a lot on that when we had Rockness, of course, on the track. And then I flipped a Pete Rock reminisce over you, and Pete Rock heard it, told me,
Mm,
Amadeus is incredible. He said, I'll come to the video shoot, support you. And pretty much Pete Rock passed the torch.
that's right.
I'm riding around in the Maserati in the video with Pete Rock on his most famous track. That's his
That's
most
right.
famous, infamous track. And for
That's
him
right.
to, a lot of producers like Preem, they're not big on dudes touching their legacy.
No, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. Speaking of legacy, I bought the cassette tape the day it came out from HMV. Hard to
Wow.
earn. Hard to earn. Right back, you gangstar. Hard to earn. 1994, man. Went to HMV because there used to be this show in Canada called Rap City, and they tell you
Okay.
the top albums to buy. So I looked in Rap Pages. Remember Rap Pages, of course, and Rap
Yeah,
Masters.
of course I do.
I
Yeah.
went right to there, put it in my. I went home. I had a Techniques big stereo. My mom would hate the thing, right? That was my key to hip hop. Let me tell you something. Hard to earn till this day. Till this day. Makes those speakers rumble. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. And I see the accolades you got there. You got like, I don't know if that's a platinum record back there. You got
No,
Tribe Called
it's
Quest.
silver.
You got a picture with
It's
yeah,
silver.
it's Silver. You got a picture with you in Premiere. You know what I mean? I'm seeing all you. I'm seeing this, right? You know what I mean? When you let me ask you something. When you heard her Hard to Earn, okay, and you got more accolades. Look at that, eh? Damn, you got DMC. All right, okay. And you got a map of
Yeah,
the
it's a
bro.
little
Is
bit
that
of
a map? What's that? A map of the five boroughs? No, that's not. That's like what? That's
yeah, that's
Manhattan.
in New York. That's New York. You're
And
right.
you got software going right now. What is that? Machine? That software is
Well,
that
yeah,
called
I'm
Machine?
working. Yeah, I'm working machine. I'm
Yeah.
working on a track with for Bumpy Knuckles right now.
Ooh, okay. All right. With Bumpy Knuckles. Oof. What's he saying these
Yeah.
days? What's he saying?
I mean, he's very picky. He's already rejected one,
Okay, okay, okay.
which I'm used to. They want
Did
what they
okay,
want.
so I'm gonna ask you as a producer, right? Engineer. So don't they give you reference tracks ahead of time? Right? Like for instance,
No, I don't
he
mess with that, bro. There's some
no
I
no no
do,
no no
like
no not reference track. No, no. It's like this. Like, let's say, because I was a producer too, still am. Like the artist is three times telling me, he's like, this is not what I want, man. Okay, let me show you something. I don't want you to do a track like this, but kind of like this. Not even, eh? Not even. Okay.
what I do is this. It depends on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Fame lets me, Billy and Fame, I just go cook. And if they
Okay.
like it, they like it. It's but take for instance, Raz just gave me, he just sent me a sample. He'll tell me to flip it like I want.
Yeah.
That's what I usually get. Like the Tretch, he sent me a set of drums from James Brown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he told me to you just use those drums and do what you want from there. Tretch loved it. Smith and
So let me
Wesson,
ask you something. So with the drums from James Brown, you didn't put nothing else behind it. You just had the drums. That's it. You just put it in the
no,
MPC.
it's a complete
Complete
build up
beat.
on top.
Okay, of
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. So let me ask you something. What do you think of? I'm not bad mouthing none of the new artists these days because without them, hip hop wouldn't be going forward, right? But what do you think of artists like Kendrick Lamar, right? When people say he's lyrical, right? And I hear some of his underground tracks, he's lyrical. But the stuff they playing on the mainstream, it's whatever. What do you think of artists like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole? You know what I mean? See who else, man. There's a few of them, but those are the ones I can think of right now. That's in the mainstream that
Yeah,
people
Davies,
people people people
Davies.
call Davies too as well. Big ups to Davies.
Yeah.
Oh, big ups to Davies. But I'm saying for the Kendrick Lamars out there, like they kind of put him on the plateau for the lyrical genius. You know what I mean? But me and it's a whole bunch of people that they're not getting their names out there. But what do you think of Kendrick Lamar? What do you think of this new era of hip hop? You know what I mean?
Well,
And are you
well,
and
I
would
am
you work and would
excited.
you work and would you work with Kendrick Lamar?
What I would want, I think the thing that I've always personally felt disappointed with Kendrick, even though he is a West Coast artist,
Yeah.
I do wish that he would have more traditional sounding music beats as
Mm-hmm.
far as what his beats like. I absolutely hate that they not like us music though. I hate that. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
what he says,
I love what
but
he's.
I don't like that music at all.
It's
I
all
just
done.
can't,
So DJ Mustard did it with Fruity Loops, right? I saw how we made it, and I used Fruity Loops back in the day. I call it Fruity Loops in the old school. It's called FL Studio, right? And what I was really impressed with was how we got those 808s, like just punching right through that,
Yeah, the
but not.
drums are
But
hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
the drums are hard, but not killing the vocals, right? I don't know who engineered that. But if you put Fruity Loops in $1 million studio, it's a whole different level, right? But it doesn't have that punch. It doesn't have that hardness. It was like basically squiggly cleaned up, and I'm supposed to be a battle rap. People suing over. It's crazy, right? You're traditional. When you go for a battle rap, you want it to sound like you're in battle. You know what I'm saying? Drums are going. You know what I mean? Horses are coming up. Both armies are ready to kill. You know what I'm saying? That's the way
Right.
when I grew up. Like LL didn't sue cannabis. Right? But the music video for Crash Test Dummies, when's that coming out?
Yeah, that'll be out after the album. Like I said, we haven't we're just putting the concept because I'm gonna be with Rakim
Mm-hmm.
at a show on the 31st. So we got a
Okay.
lot, I got a lot going on, man. I mean, it's like I say I'm gonna slow down and then like I'm also working with LL's homeboy, Playboy Mikey D.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the guy that gave LL his name. That's the guy that LL always brings up when they ask him, where did you get this name? And he goes, oh, my
Mm-hmm.
man's Playboy Mikey D said, you know, you love the ladies. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
working with him right now. And too on some other stuff. It's just so much, bro. It's crazy.
You're
And
dealing with.
I'm
Mhm.
blessed. I'm lucky. I'm blessed that people love what I do. Um, but sometimes it does get a little out
They
there.
get hectic. So what's your social media? How can they get a hold of you? You know what I mean? Because they get some beats to find out what you're doing. You're working with the legends of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I have to hand it to you. Congratulations, my brother. There's not a lot of producers like you. A lot of people pretend, but you got the accolades. How can they get a hold of you?
Right.
What's your social media?
Yeah, you know what? Just put at Amadeus360. Amadeus, that's my middle name. Is I was named after Wolfgang Amadeus Wolfgang Mozart,
Okay. Okay.
the
Now
the
what?
composer.
Now we got the studio next door, right? They got all kinds of banging going on, right? Because they're trying to reformat. But what track do you want to hear right now? Do you want to hear Respect Due or you want to hear Crash Test Dummies? Because, for the TV show that we have right now, we're going to run the music video. I'm just going to play the track with your logo, or we can go into the other track. It's up to you, my bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do crash test dummies.
Crash
And
Test
everybody
Dummies.
get at me at Amadeus360. That's all you gotta do. Add Amadeus360 and a plethora of stuff comes up.
Anything you want to say?
Instagram, everything.
Anything you want to say to the up and coming artists and producers when somebody says, like, I don't want to use FL Studio, right? I use MPC, or somebody with MPC. I want to use SP1200, a remake of SP1200. And they're telling you, like, what do you tell these people that are all mixed up and they don't know what to make it with? They don't know what to
I mean,
make their
I'm
beats
I'm
with.
from the I'm cut from a different cloth. You were talking about hard to earn. I'm much before hard to earn. I'm from Gang Star's very beginnings, with the first album.
So you
So
basically,
89.
so 89. So you're with the era with what, 2 second sampling. You know what I mean? Where you got that loop and it's a 2 second sample. You got to
And a
make the
DAT recorder and
that
stuff like
recording
that.
stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to make the best of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back then, you had to make the best of it, and things were more creative. Then we got to the 4 second marker, and that just totally changed the game. You know what I mean? Totally changed the
Yeah,
game.
10 seconds, SB 1200, 10 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
that
it.
went to that went to 12. Yeah, that was a whole different level. Yes. Can I tell you something? The whole 90s, I'd say from like 90, say 4 to say about 97, because after that, everything started sounding clean. From Capone and Noriega's album in 97 to Noriega's solo, you can hear the digital. It just got digitized in like 98. The SP1200 was the golden grail of making beats. You could hear it
Yeah, I
in the
work with
music.
Tragedy Gaddafi too. That's my man. That's my brother. I got
Oh
one.
man, you keep
Yeah,
mentioning names. Stop mentioning people that we.
yeah. I learned a lot from Trag. Trag is a
Yeah,
beast. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
that dude has produced, some of the
Tragic
most
Gaddafi's a
legendary.
producer? Hold on, stop for me.
Yeah.
I've interviewed this guy twice. I've met him. Tragic Gaddafi's.
Oh
Hand me
yeah,
with a
you better
string.
go look
Hand
up
me
his
with a string.
discography,
Hand me
bro.
with a string. Hand me right now.
Bro, go look his discography. Nas, the component, the War Report, bro. Parole violators. Are you kidding me?
Oh my
Reg is
God.
a
Okay.
beast, an
Okay.
animal.
Okay.
And
You.
a matter of fact, Tragedy is the dude that started calling Havoc. My man's Havoc. That's
Mhm.
who named him, who gave him his
Wow.
nickname.
Didn't have it. Yeah, 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 yeah. He started
Because I mess
Queensbridge.
with a lot of them Queensbridge cats. I got one with
Yeah.
Black Poet too, from
Big ups.
Screwball. Black
Big.
Poet, Craig G, Queensbridge.
Can I tell you
Yeah,
something?
man.
Back then, okay, you had Eric B. Rakim, production was coming from Rakim. You had Onyx coming from Fedro. List goes on, right? Ain't that crazy? Back in the day, they didn't really care about the production who did the beat. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take as long as I'm on the camera showing that I'm rapping, the rapper got more attention. Now in today's time with all the, yeah, I didn't even know, bro. We're in hip hop, right? We don't know everything. I should have known that. I should have known that right there. That's incredible. What about you? You ever feel like you want to rap? You want to go into the rapping game?
No, I
Drop.
don't know how to rap. I mean, Bill and Fame, I have one unreleased. I shot a video with MOP. And they made me rap, and somebody had to write it for me. I can,
Okay.
usually a producer,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a rapper's a rapper. I don't know any rappers that produce and rap at the same caliber. They're usually mediocre producers and
That's right.
insanely great rappers. Like Pete
That's
Rock,
right.
for instance,
Yeah.
he can rap,
But he's
but
more
you're
better
not
as a
gonna put him in
producer.
no top 10 no time
That's
soon.
right. Or you get like Kanye West, right? Like Kanye West is a better producer than rapper, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Oh,
course.
and some people may think differently, you know? But on the long run, we got like 4 minutes left, right? Is this something that we don't know from Amadeus360? Is this something like what kind of food? What's your background? Because I know a lot of people in New York, they got Caribbean background, a Latino background. Are you straight African American?
Yeah, I'm straight up American,
Okay.
bro. People from the
So,
South, like that type of thing.
okay. Oh, so what do you love to eat, man? Like right now on a Sunday, I don't know if you all, your parents went to church and everything. Sunday they cook that good food. So what's the food that you grew up with that right now, if somebody was to make it for you, it'd bring you to a childhood place?
I tell you this, my wife would crack up. And you asking me this because all she do is be on me about how much I'm eating. So,
Hey, listen, man, it's better to eat. It's better to
you
eat
don't
than
want me
not to
talking
eat.
about how much I eat right now. She don't want to hear that. I
It's
can
better
promise you that.
for sure. It's better to eat than not to eat. You gotta look nice and healthy, man. Look at us, man. Look at me and you, man. We got that.
Oh,
We
that's
got that
hilarious.
flow. Yeah. But what is it you like to eat though? Is it like mac and cheese
Man, I'm a
with
big Asian food. I love Asian food.
Asian food?
I
Okay.
travel to Asia. Yeah, I'm a big I love to travel. So when I get out and I want to splurge a little, I get me a little first class ticket. Then
Nice.
why we went to Thailand Cup that last year. Then we go to Asia. We're going to Vietnam this year. So I'm
Okay.
a big Asian food. I
Yo,
love Asian food.
The Vietnamese subs. We got Chinatown down in Ottawa. I love them Vietnamese subs, man. Oh, you had Vietnamese
Yeah,
subs?
the
Bon,
banh mi.
yeah.
I've had all
Beautiful.
that, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
okay.
yeah, of
Okay, I'm
course I
obsessed
have.
with
Yeah.
that. All right, man. Well, it's a pleasure hearing from you, right? We're gonna hear that track Crash Test Dummies, you know what I mean? Featuring, I want you to introduce this track.
Yeah, this Crash Test Dummies, produced by, of course, me, fully produced, um, featuring terminology, my man's Divine Karama, Emmy award-winning Divine Karama.
Oh, what are you winning an Emmy for?
Well, this brother really, he works with the youth in Kentucky. He's very, very well
Okay.
known. His
Down
profile
south,
is
brother.
very high.
Down south, brother on an East Coast beat. Ugh. I wanted to say something. Southern rappers, I've heard over Premier Beats and just some East Coast beats, a boom bap. I think they sound better. I think they sound a little better than
Yeah. I mean, of
the
course, I'm affiliated with Turn, so him and
yeah.
Static work with Bun B, Lil
Yes,
Kiki, all of the such.
that's
So,
right.
and I got Paul Wall on one of my
That's
joints.
right. That's right. That's right. Nasty on that. All right, man. Let's hear this track, Divine Karama, with terminology Crash Test Dummies, right here on the Match Show Deluxe Syndicated. Yes, sir. Blah.
Funky as he wanna be. Bam!
Rappers are stressing me, trappers is pressing me. The pressure make me wanna grab a blick and go. Oppression still while I'm stressing the deal. And if I act black, the perception is real. Bro, I think I'm ready to cash out before they make a brother crash out. You rap with no soul like a mummy, and the game done turn you to a crash test dummy. Divine is so hard, I go to war with a hyphen and swore like a titan. I'm trying to restore the fighting and I'm bored, cause y'all worried if the whore's liking it. When I write, I'm cold, I record liquid nitrogen. In the booth, I'm like a Viking on Viking, and on the mic from the booth, I'm like Zeus with a Triton. I control the sky where the youth fly kites, and then strike a mid-flight, I electrocute them with lightning. Nah, I just need to calm down. Instead of hit you with the pound, I'd rather give you a pound. Maybe a handshake instead of a man's wake. Daps and hugs instead of clapping and snubs. See, back in the day, I used to battle with vengeance. Then I remember my only fights with the system. Data sets is detected to mess your health, so you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm saying, rappers are stressing me, trappers is pressuring me. The pressure make me wanna grab a blick and go. Oppression still while I'm stressing the deal. And if I act black, the perception is real. Bro, I think I'm ready to cash out.